Oh, I'm not trying to reference anything. I'm just saying,
you're blaspheming.
Tell me it's not a childish show.
It
Name
has
me one cuss.
One cuss?
Name me one
the phrase
lovemaking scene.
Actually,
there's a kiss. Actually,
the tenth scene. The tenth scene with
there's a kiss.
there is.
Welcome back to the Wacky Wonderful Wiseworks podcast.
Hi.
We're here again.
I'll keep going to
white
this.
guys in a room doing a podcast.
Is there really no sound in space? Is it because there's no pressure?
Yeah, but there's lasers. Pew pew.
If you see like the Death Star explosion, it'd be like. Now there might be a sound if you're on a planet.
Well, I don't even know. Where does the sound waves go?
I've never gotten to top 3.
You gotta start picking better, man.
I pick good. You just don't like them.
You pick
I
two?
pick good. I pick them. I pick good.
Look, Daddy.
Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wing.
That's right, dear.
Dude, I can't take it.
Welcome back to the Wacky Wonderful Wiseworks podcast, all you guys, gals, geeks, and goofballs. Yeah! Woo!
You did it.
He did it.
You did it.
I almost fumbled because I was too
He
excited.
almost passed out.
You did almost pass out. You're getting all
Welcome back to
good.
the Wacky Wonderful Wiseworks podcast. All you guys go.
Geeks and Look, can I open with a question?
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this in the pre-show. Shout out to our Patreon. If you want to see a weekly pre-show that we go for about 20 minutes, we record before the show. You can go check us out there and subscribe to a Patreon tier. However, when we were doing that, I was thinking, I think most people don't do this. I think it's important that we as humans pick our looks for decades of our life. You know what I mean? So what I mean is, when you're a teenager, you have a look. When you're in your 20s, you have a look. When you're in your 30s and 40s, you have separate looks. But the thing is, we don't ever choose it for ourselves. We just kind of fall into and slowly morph. But sometimes we morph before we're ready. Like, why grow a full beard if it's still patchy?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
a
lot of older or like older teenagers or early 20-year-old boys get that neck beard because they're like, I'm a man, I have to have a beard. But really, you shouldn't really rock a strong beard till probably you're in your 30s if we're being really honest, you know? I mean, everyone can do what they want.
Are you saying something about my facial hair?
No, I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, we're all like.
I'm not saying anything. No, I think a scruff on a man, if you can get scruff, is good. I'm just saying that like a full beard. Like Seth was premature on the beard because it worked and he had a lot of facial hair. Basically, bring this up because I think it's important for us to define our looks for the decades of our lives. So have you thought about it? And if so, what is your look?
I have thought about this, but I don't know if it's decade. It might be a little shorter than a decade.
Okay.
I had the long hair. That was a stage.
That was your teenage. That was the end of your teenage, early 20s.
I'm not saying that I won't like grow it a little bit out again, but I don't know if I'd ever go like long again because I feel like that was a stage in my life, and I'm not gonna go back to that.
Go.
One that I've been thinking very heavily about, and I'm about to give up.
Is this the facial hair?
No.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, for the people who see me, you know, and I've got one specific style that I have a lot, and I've had since I was a teenager.
Yep.
The shoe style. Do you know where I'm getting at?
Sperry's.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking of switching into?
I don't know, but
Converses.
I think I might get
Or
rid of
Adidas.
Converse.
No, I think I did Converse in middle school.
Okay, so you're not going to Converse. Wyatt, have you thought about this? Like, what's your look, man? When people see you in pictures, on screen, on video, what do you expect them to see
A sweater.
you as in your 30s?
A knitted sweater.
You know?
So when I was a little kid, I wore jeans and shirts.
Yeah, like graphic tees, kind of.
Nah, just whatever.
Just whatever. Like you didn't put thought into it.
No.
Yeah.
As a teenager, I wore jeans and shirts. As an adult, I wear jeans and shirts.
And so in your 30s, are you going to change it up?
In my 30s, I'm probably going to be wearing jeans and shirts. In my 40s, I plan on wearing overalls.
Yeah.
You're gonna.
That's great.
I know where you're getting this Lemuel.
Lemuel. Yeah.
Lemuel Rivers.
Yeah. Lemuel always looks so comfortable in his overalls.
Jeans and shirts till your 40s. Then you're pulling out an overall.
Yeah. Or
suspenders.
Maybe I'll have a brief stint in my late 20s, early 30s where I'm wearing coveralls that are tied at the waist and t-shirts.
Okay.
You know, that might be cool. That might be. I've always liked the coveralls look.
Yeah.
What's the transition between jeans to overalls? I think I know what it is. Male romper.
No, I'm thinking
male romper.
I'm
Gross.
thinking just start putting on overalls and wearing them. Just start wearing them.
Nipples out, nipples in.
No, nipples in with a nice plaid shirt underneath.
Oh, the plaid.
Yeah.
Or like a jumpsuit. You could go like jumpsuit.
Like a tasteful plaid. Mm-hmm. Not like an ugly plaid. I'm talking like a dark green with maybe some blues and grays in there. Yeah. Kind of plaid. Yeah.
So,
with the sleeve rolled up.
Okay. So I've put a lot of thought into my looks. A lot of thought. Basically what you see is going to be the rough version of my 20s. And it kind of has been slightly. I got a little more plain with the t-shirts.
Last time I checked, your 20s. They're kind of.
I'm not even 27 yet, bro.
Grandpa Joe.
They're running up.
Look, what you see is what you're going to get for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
Roughly. And I'm probably not going to cut my hair for 4 years.
Okay.
And then once I hit my 30s, the day I turn 30, I'm getting a big tattoo, big one, don't know where yet. And I'm cutting all my hair off and the beard growth starts. Okay,
in full swing.
Full swing. Don't touch the beard. Keep my hair real short sides, just a tiny little bit of length at the top, big beard, and just let the tattoos fly. I don't know if I'll keep my earrings in then. I might take my earrings out when I'm in my 40s. And then, and in my 40s, I'm going to let everything go.
Yeah.
Everything, because I don't want to be in my 50s and let everything go. I'll be too gray by then. You don't want to let everything go when you're gray.
I'm in, this is bad for me then, because.
Yep, you're already gray.
Yeah.
See, I thought about maybe having if I don't do the coveralls thing, maybe having a brief stint with like slacks and sports blazers and t-shirts underneath, kind of, Miami Vice style. Thought about that for a little bit. Like maybe I, rock the sports coat with the sleeves like rolled up and pushed up, looking cool.
Yeah,
but
looking cool.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I could swing that look.
You probably could.
It's been hard to find the sports coats. It really has. I've looked for them.
It's been a struggle.
I haven't found any that are thin enough, rumpled enough. They gotta have like rumply character.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, I think here's the thing. Women don't do this because women like to look like a variety constantly. It's a hobby. Men who care no more than 50% about how they look, we are able to, for a decade, master a look, and then in the next decade, move to a new look. Yeah. And you live about, if you're lucky, 8 decades of your life, right?
Oh, I gotta rephrase my statement.
Yeah.
If at any point between my 20s and 40s I become a dad, it's jorts and the white shoes.
What about the fishing shirt
and the polo or the fishing shirt?
Yeah.
And the
the dad changes your look?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, being a dad changes your look.
I don't think being a dad's gonna change my look.
It changes.
It
changes.
Here's
you.
the thing. I want.
You gotta get those grass stains on your shoes.
Yeah.
Mowing the lawn.
Yeah. No, I think I can pull off a especially I mean, I'm hoping to have kids 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a rough look in my 30s planned out. It's going to be really biker. You know what I mean?
It's going to be really biker.
It's probably going to be a mix between biker and lumberjack.
Your kids are going to think you're a biker for the first 10 years of their lives and then be like, wait, Dad's kind of a nerd.
That's right. See, I want to put the fear of the Lord in my kids. I want them to think their dad is kind of scary. Like, we love him. We can have a good time. He laughs a lot. He's a fun dad, but the way he looks can be scary. And I think it's healthy for a young kid to learn about their father.
I used to think my dad was scary, and then he would...
Your dad is scary.
He's not scary.
To this day, I'm afraid of your father.
Would... And then he would, like, shave his face.
Yeah.
And he'd look like...
a little boy.
And you know, thinking back, it probably looked like kind of more or less like Ethan. So Ethan has
I could see that.
features that resemble my dad.
I could see them.
And they both got the light brown hair.
He would, a mix between Ethan and John Mark.
Yeah, he would shave his face, and his voice is such that, you know, it's not super deep, and you know, so he just wasn't as scary. He just wasn't as scary without the beard.
Before you start, using loose terms around your dad, be like, "Boy, hush! I'm still your father."
What's up, bro?
Oh, sorry, Dad. Forgot.
What's up, homie?
What's up, homie?
What's up, Holmes?
I'm your father.
I'm your father. Oh man.
Yep, we got an opener for you guys.
We do have an opener,
and it's actually a pretty fun opener.
Yeah,
it's actually we.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You're wild. If you don't think
that noise triggers me. When you make that noise, I go.
All right, look, we're doing something slightly different. Me and Joshua in old podcasts would highlight some short films.
We did.
We're circling back
in the day, really back in our crouton days.
Well, croutons of the podcast, and so we're circling back, and we are going to be highlighting a incredible short film, an indie short film, and it's called Dynamo.
We had a conversation about this.
We were calling it Dynamo.
Mr.
And then I was like,
Dynamo Dream.
Dynamo.
It's called Dynamo Dream.
Mr. Guillermo.
Mr. Guillermo.
Mr. Guillermo.
Look.
Mr. Guillermo.
It's Guillermo.
Guillermo del Toro.
I'm not talking about that.
No.
We're not talking about
No, we're not. We're talking about...
No, I got my butt roasted.
Yeah.
The other day. All right.
Mackenzie.
So that turned me off to that whole argument.
Kenzie got my back.
She did. She destroyed me.
You can't have that weak of spirit.
No.
You got to build her up.
It killed me inside, but it also killed me. I was laughing. It was hilarious.
Not have an inside joke for people who are listening.
I mean, I'm just saying.
We're talking about an inside joke.
I'm just saying I got my ass roasted. What you talking about?
Okay.
Yeah.
Kenzie roasted.
Kenzie got him good.
Me. She roasted me.
So we're going to take a look at, we're going to give our review thoughts. We're going to talk about it some. We also have a clip, a side-by-side of how it was created. First off, we should acknowledge the nature of why this is so captivating.
Mm-hmm.
So do any of you guys want to pick it up, try to explain what went on during the creation of this short film?
Ooh. I mean, a lot of things.
So it's a sci-fi.
It is a sci-fi.
It's a sci-fi. It's in a crazy, crazy world that is super dynamic. It focuses on this one woman. And basically she tries to sell things. She tries to live in this world. She sells salads.
Futuristic.
Yeah, it's futuristic. It's very cluttered.
Yeah.
Very cluttered, very technologically forward, but kind of like that Tatooine Star Wars.
Yeah,
stuff.
I think Tatooine mixed with Coruscant.
Yeah.
Did we explain? So let's take one step back, like half a step. This is a little bit older of a film. When did this come out exactly? Do you have dates for?
I believe it came out about 8 months ago.
About 8 months ago.
It's a little bit older. It's not like didn't come out like last week.
Right.
But I think worth talking about because we never talked about it on the podcast.
Yes, and it's when it comes to short films, especially indie films, they take a while. Like they don't release like a Hollywood film. So sometimes people aren't seeing it till a year or 2 or 3 years after, and it's a slow burn on a lot of indie films, especially if they take. But
off. I mean, if you got your pulse, if you got your finger on the pulse of, you know, like the editing, like visual effects world, like myself, you find this stuff like a week after it's
or like maybe your name, your YouTube name is Indie Film Hustle.
Yeah. Well, I found
Alex Ferrari's on top of it.
I found this from watching Corridor Crew, their visual effects, the VFX artists react.
Yeah.
And they were talking about this guy, and I was like, oh man.
What was it, like a Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon or even a Sunday? I don't even know. It was a weekend.
It was a day.
We weren't doing anything. We're, sitting on the couch doing our thing. And Wyatt's like, Josh, I'm gonna turn this on. You're gonna watch it right quick. Turned it on. I didn't know what I was about to watch, but it was pleasant.
So when you look at these slides, you're thinking, oh, this is like pretty elaborate sets. You know, this is well crafted. I'm sure there's a lot of visual effects adding to the surrounding area. That's an understatement.
Yeah.
It's an understatement of the century,
right?
Essentially. This is not high production. Well, this is not like sets that have a lot of visual effects to enhance it. The whole thing.
The entire thing's visual.
The entire thing.
Yeah.
And just to prove the point, let's go ahead and watch this clip. The creator, what was his name? I forgot his name.
Ian Hubert Hubbard?
Ian Hubert
Huber.
Okay. So he's been working on this for years using the animation software Blender. He put up a video before he released the whole thing of a side-by-side of how he filmed it compared to what the end result after the visual effects is. So let's just watch this and talk through it. At the top, we got green screen.
It's all green screen. But then, look, that's what he's filming, and he's overlaying it down here into this window.
I mean, you can see green, but
that's...
But there's movement and stuff happening over on the left side.
Oh my gosh.
Look at these fans spinning.
All of this, everything.
So when they're on the green screen, they're not even close to each other. He's comping them in close to each other. This is a different scene.
Oh my gosh.
Look how tight everything is. Look at all the little, like, there's rust. Okay. There's rust on that panel.
We gotta pause. We're not, Joshua, you're just going like this. Are you not about to poop yourself?
No, I did that before the podcast.
Shelby's. Wait, what?
No Shelby's.
No Shelby's. That's gonna be a good call-in for later.
No Shelby's.
No Shelby's. This is incredible.
Look at whatever this palette is. It's got words on it, farm and something.
Everything is crafted by this guy.
Yeah.
Let's keep watching.
He has to go in and put details on all these little pieces of metal. Like there's reflections,
signs.
There's reflections on the metal. There's
what about
scratches?
That person in the window in the background?
Fake.
Everything is fake except her.
So look, this guy's real.
Wait.
So you're not seeing him in here, but he's okay. So you saw his hand and his arm.
Yeah.
Once it got out onto that green screen. This is insane.
Ooh, the robot games. Is this from Spy Kids?
I don't. It's a mech suit.
There's menus over there.
Yeah, I want to see what they're eating in the future.
Casanova is that restaurant.
Oh, this is crazy. Look at how this is done by one dude.
If you actually listen to the dialogue, you have to actually find an isolated clip. Mm-hmm. The dialogue is hilarious of that crab grabbing the mech dude's arm. Awesome.
This is wild.
Look, she just turns. Slowly.
And the thing is, he's creating the world.
How
So
is she turning like that? Is she on a platform?
no, she's just turning her feet.
He's turning the camera in the software like it's a camera, and she's just like standing there.
Oh, she's doing that. I thought she was standing on a platform, and he was moving her underneath the camera, maybe.
Dynamo Dream.
Yeah. So this is like a side, kind of like a side story to something Ian has worked on before called Dynamo.
Ian, my boy.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen the original like Dynamo series. There's multiple episodes of that.
It'd be cool to get him on the podcast, maybe. Oof. I don't know if that's possible.
I mean, anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Anything is possible.
You can do anything.
But look, this man single-handedly has put anything that's come out.
Her performance was good.
Look.
Yeah.
Okay. Her performance is great.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's just fine. I believe, is that his girlfriend?
Yeah, that's his girlfriend.
His girlfriend in their house setting up green
It kind of
sheets.
looked like, I mean, it was just a room.
So the two things,
I believe he
it
has
was like a
small
studio.
area.
Yeah, small studio or something.
3 things he had to be so calculated with
Mhm.
and a genius at is, first, he had to have a vision for the composition.
What he was going to do, yeah.
So he made sure that the camera movement, the distance of the camera for shooting on the green screen was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Then he had to have a perfect idea of how he wanted to design the lights. So he lit everything accordingly. And then on top of that, he needs to be a master of this software blender.
What I think he did is for the scenes that we see, he builds the set.
Yeah.
In Blender, he builds the set,
and then
he lights everything up, and then he's like, all right, so I've got my floating camera here over this fake world I've built. This is how I can zoom in and zoom out and keep any edges and stuff that aren't.
Yeah.
And get real good camera shots.
Yeah, you think so you're saying he builds it beforehand, you think?
Before he gets the camera shots. Yeah.
So he plans out his movement.
You think he puts it on a monitor and is like, okay, this is what we're seeing. I want you to be turning here.
It also probably helps for lighting because he can set up his lights, like his different colored. Like I noticed that when she went to sit down while she's waiting for the food, there's a red light on her face because there's a red motivated light off to the side of her in the animation.
Yeah. I think he sets up specific light sources in his 3D world. And he's like, and then he probably writes down where they are and putting them into reality.
Absolutely.
When she's doing her acting, where he's gonna put those. He's like, all right, so here's our motivated lighting stuff. This needs to be in reality because stuff is gonna be shining on her. And we don't want people to be like, oh, well, that's light isn't there.
And the cool thing about this, and now we've always talked about like The Mandalorian is incredible. How they filmed it. Yeah. The LED room, it's all filmed on a location. That's one place in a building. You can just film all day. It doesn't matter what weather you have outside.
And the lighting is on the character is going to be the exact lighting of the environment that they're supposed to be in.
Exactly.
So this is kind of like that, but it's not.
It's not like that, but it's almost like the Mandalorian way of doing things is a little better. But this is like if you don't have that technology, you do this.
This is like if the prequels had good animation.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine if the prequels looked half as good
like
as this.
Yeah.
Half as good. I was saying earlier, this man single-handedly in his house with his girlfriend, some lights and some sheets and his hand on a computer. His hands, fingers.
Well, no, there's some other people involved.
Yes. I'm just saying single-handedly.
But when it says directed by, it says produced by, when it says filmed by, animated by, it's
sound effects by.
Yeah.
He's put all of Hollywood to shame for like the past 10 years. Because I've never seen anything, even the Avenger films or any Marvel thing, they use a lot of green and blue screens. And you look at their stuff, it's not as convincing as even this.
Just watching that clip made me like, why aren't we watching the rest of this? I'm seeing all this stuff and I'm like, I want to watch more. I remember that thing. I want to watch
the whole
more.
thing is 20 minutes and we want you to go to his video after the podcast and watch it.
And tell him Wiseworks sent you.
Leave a comment and say, hey, Wiseworks podcast is talking about you.
Yeah.
You should check.
That'd be.
Yeah, for real.
guys,
leave a comment and say, hey, we're here to enjoy your thing because Wiseworks Podcast is talking about you.
We know there's like 6 or 7 of you, so like don't go over there and just spam him.
Spam him. Tell him you love his work. You're absolutely stunned by it because there's no way you can't be. And then tell him Wiseworks Podcast let you know about him.
We want so much spam. We want to go to Hawaii.
Yeah. We're that into spam.
But the video's gonna be in the description. The link for the video.
Check them out.
Yeah. So what was the thing that I think that blew my mind the most was those wonky dynamic movements towards the end of this first part, where she's starting to go delusional.
That we didn't see.
We didn't see. It's at the end of the short, and everything's incredible. But it's because I also saw some pieces of the green screen used for that. It's the same thing. It's all green screen and it's just her. So when she's hitting up against a wall and she's interacting and the camera's going in and out, everything around her is so convincing, but everything around her is fake. It's truly mind-boggling.
Not fake because it's all here.
That's right.
I think what I enjoy about it most is I guess what you would call microcosm storytelling.
Okay. Describe microcosm storytelling.
I don't get where you're going at with this.
So it's when in the smallest space possible you are telling a story or multiple stories. And so when somebody walks into a room and there's like 3 screens down here and there's a little computer thing here and there's scratches on the computer and there's rust on the visor and one of the screens is half blacked out and cracked and there's rust on the wall and there's a cigarette butt on the ground and there's so many details in this tiny little room. It's all of this is all of that, and we got you get some of it in like what did we watch? The French Dispatch.
Yes, the French Dispatch.
Wes Anderson loves the microcosm.
Are you talking about
storytelling where you take a tiny little something and you put something here and something here? And
so
something
it's almost like I have not really made up word because it's not my word, but have a word for this, right? Like it like most things have patina, a little bit of patina.
Yes.
On screen.
Yes, and
you're building a fake patina.
Yeah. So yes and no. You can throw the patina on the micro world, or you can not have it. But you notice in Wes Anderson stuff, there's some little areas that are very clean and neat, and then there are some little areas that are dirty and they have that patina. But they're always this little microcosm, and they're always this tiny space of unique stuff, and you get a sense of what the character that lives in this space is like.
Yes.
Tells a story.
It tells a story. And
without telling you the story.
And just this picture, there's so much going on. There's little things in the water. His lunchbox is, it's got patina on it. His backpack, his goggles,
it shows you, like, it shows you how old looking this little docking area is.
Yeah, it's been here for a while.
Got all of these barnacles. Growths from the water.
Everything feels alive, even the stuff that's not alive.
It's a breathing city. Just a quick game real quick for the podcast on our new intro. We do one of those little things. We put a little what did you call it? Microcosm storytelling.
Yeah.
We do one of those in the intro. Try to see it. Tell us if you found it.
I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's the only word I could think of.
Yeah.
Is the smallest possible space with the most possible story.
Yeah. It's like an Easter egg, but it's not alluding to anything you already know. It's saying this has a story behind it. We're just not telling you the story.
Yeah.
This has a person or something touched this. It's here for a reason. We're just not getting into it.
It's kind of like an actor that comes up with a character for a film. They have all these stories, like a backstory, and they think of like the life of the actor that they're about to play, and they're like, the actor grew up doing this and what their likes, dislikes, even if that's not in the film at all. They come up with these backstories to portray this character and get in the mindset of this character so much that they kind of have these micro things that aren't even on film. but they're in the back of their mind and they're playing the character like that.
Yeah.
And I love that for characters, and I love it for visuals too.
Oh, yeah.
When somebody gets the visuals right, I think it's part of I think it's one of the biggest issues that I have with the prequel Star Wars movies.
Okay.
Is that
you throwing shade over?
Yeah, well,
Throw the shade.
always a little bit. There's not enough. Everything's too clean.
Yeah.
Everything's too that nothing in the environment tells a story like the old Star Wars movie where everything was dirty. The Millennium Falcon, you go inside and there's grime on the corners, and that little living area, the leather on the couch is frayed around the edges, and there's stuff on the table and there's stuff in the corner. It's a real living, breathing ship. Whereas, you get into, I don't know, Queen Amidala's ship and it's silver.
Yeah.
And there's no dust.
And there's tons of people there. And should be something.
There should be something.
Maybe a contract somebody dropped on the floor.
Somebody give this ship some character.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's also kind of the difference between a little bit of what we saw in Wheel of Time mixed with comparing that to like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, or Lord of the Rings.
But let's call it Game of Thrones since that's also a series, that had a close to the same amount of budget thrown at it.
Yeah.
This guy never released like what his budget was for this, because even if it was just buying the green screen background and that's it,
and
or
some lights,
the software.
Like, did you look on IMDb?
I didn't. I was just.
I know. I pulled up IMDb earlier.
The only reason why I'm asking, because I looked it up because you brought this up specifically. Star Wars: The Phantom Menace had $115 million budget. I mean, paying actors and too, but
who were they really
115,
paying?
yeah.
Natalie Portman, Ewan McGregor. Who else was a big actor?
Mace
at the time?
Windu. What's
Samuel Jackson?
Samuel Jackson. Yeah.
Count Dooku.
What's his name? Christopher something? I always forget.
Christopher.
But this 115 million. Rather watch this than Star Wars.
Yeah, of course. This is so much more dynamic.
This
and his girlfriend is more engaging of a character.
Watch this than Star Wars. Star Wars is fun.
No, look, his girlfriend is more of an engaging character than I would say any prequel Star Wars character. Of course, except for Jar Jar Binks. We all love him.
Yeah.
Found anything yet?
I'm looking to see if there's some info on how much he.
It might not be on there, man, because it would not surprise me if this man
spent $2,000.
No, cash flowed the whole thing because it took him time to make it. Just literally like, I need a light. I'm going to go buy it, It would not surprise me.
Yeah, I'm not finding anything that says how much it costs.
It truly would not surprise me. And
I mean, he has the software. He's been working on like the original Dynamo series, for years. And so I'm sure he has, studio. I'm sure he has a studio area and lights and green screen. So he's probably spending, not too much money on
the only thing he's spending is his time
where he's sitting on his computer and he's like,
that is a lot though.
He's like looking at the screen.
Time is valuable.
And you're watching his 1 minute, what were they called? Quick
tutorial videos.
Quick tutorial videos. 1 minute.
How he's using Blender.
And he's just like, all right, so here's a wall. You want to make a wall in Blender, so you bring this in, and then you pull these out to sort of make crenellations on the wall, and then you pull these out here, and you adjust these, and you
do that by attaching this to this, and this.
You add this later. And he's like going into the software, and he's like, all you have to do is click this tab.
All you have to do, I have to find that tab first, sir.
And you're like, all right, I feel like I could follow this.
Yeah, but I need Blender first.
But I would need Blender.
Yeah. Is it on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you could just slow it down then.
Yeah.
Just slow it down.
Yeah.
First you need to
lick this button.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up this review though.
Forgot what I was gonna. Oh, I'm sorry.
Spaghetti Western.
No, it was. I was heavily into drawing at the time, and when I found this, I was like, "Dang, I want to get into
Blender.
I want to get into Blender."
I'm pretty sure Blender is free.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I need a good computer.
You do need a powerful computer.
Y'all won't believe I'd be making some crazy stuff.
It shows you the true power of modern technology if you put in the elbow grease and you have the creative mind to see it before it's done. You know?
Yeah. Fun fact: we sell elbow grease at Lowe's. So if
I have gotten 18 spam calls today. Sorry. Yeah.
We sell. You messed up my joke. I can't go back and say it again. I was gonna say we sell elbow grease at Lowe's for $5.99, $4.99.
You trying to get people to go to Lowe's?
No,
I'm just elbow grease.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
What y'all selling? Blinker fluid?
We do. Yeah.
Blinker fluid.
Get a little bit of mirror grease.
Check out after the podcast, the link in the description, or after this video if you're watching just the clip, and watch and just enjoy the crap out of this short film. Then go to this channel that the video's on and watch his tutorials. You'll be blown away. I promise.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Whoa. Hey guys, I'm here to interrupt the podcast to let you know that we have a Patreon, and you can go over there and there are 3 tiers that you can subscribe to get various different pieces of content. We have, a bunch of different ideas that we're going to be putting on there in the future, but for right now we have most of our content comes out a week early for you guys. So if that's something you guys are interested in, check out the link in the description and you can get back to the podcast. What we got next?
Well, we have one thing we need to do first, and that is our Patreon shout out.
Oh yes,
Shelby. Thank you, Shelby.
No Shelbys.
No Shelbys. It wasn't planned.
It was not planned. It just worked out beautifully.
Thank you, Shelby, for supporting the podcast. We love you. That's our Patreon shout out. If you want to get a shout out, a chance at a shout out every single week on the flagship episode, go to the Patreon, choose a tier, support us. You get a chance at a shout out no matter what tier you choose.
If you get 25, if you sign up for 25, is that
your chances go way up.
But that's not a for sure shout out?
Yeah, you'll eventually for sure be shouted out. But your name is also, if you're 25, goes in the credits of the
credits.
podcast.
So there's always
your name's
always going to be there.
Yeah, if you don't get a shout out, look, your name might not always be in our mouths, but it'll be forever in our videos.
And in our hearts.
And in our hearts.
So make that name that you use to sign up for Patreon really funny.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Unless you already
have
choose
your
own
name.
Account.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Patreon. It's like a social media.
Like I'm a soiled dwarf on there.
Soiled
For real?
dwarf.
Always, everywhere.
I've never.
That would be so funny if it became a thing where our shout outs are just people's names. You try to make us laugh like crazy.
Yeah.
That would be so much fun.
Now, nothing like crude, rude, or socially unacceptable.
Well, find that happy middle ground,
like that
middle
balance.
ground,
Yeah,
and then roll with it. Test the waters.
If you guys hit us, if we open it up and we're like, we're shouting out, I'm trying to.
I'm trying to.
We need to make new usernames. We need to make new usernames. One of them will be I'm trying to.
And
the other would be
talking about.
That would be good. That would be good.
So let's get on to the next thing. We're talking about little news revolving around Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4. 3. My bad. A glance.
It's all right.
So
Happens
a couple things before we get into it. Let me just briefly say, not much has been out. They've been preparing for Volume 3 since 2017. The director Gunn, he's been saying that he went and did Suicide Squad, and now he's back for the next Guardians, and he said this is going to be the darkest in the franchise. It's going to be a completely new vibe, with some of the same elements, the humor, the good music that you enjoy, Joshua.
How dark is it going to be? Is it going to be like...
They don't know. He just says it's going to feel different. It's going to be the darkest in the franchise.
So the news
There's just
What's your joke? I feel like I was gonna have a joke there, and you're like, they don't know.
So what they're saying is that a lot of the actors are moving on from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
I mean, being painted green every day,
that's gotta be tough.
Yeah.
tough.
So that means that we're gonna lose characters. Either they are going off and doing their own story in the Marvel universe. I don't mean like they're just leaving the MCU. They're not dying. They're just going off somewhere else.
Maybe somebody dies.
But it seems like a couple people are definitely gonna die.
Well, jog my memory. Gamora, she dies. Thanos sacrifices her. She doesn't come back, does she?
She did come back, yes.
Yeah.
When did she come back?
So she came back when
During the chaos, when everyone was coming back?
No, when Thanos used the time travel technology. So past Thanos and past Gamora came to this timeline.
Yes,
and
past.
she stayed.
Past Gamora.
So she's still out there, even though she doesn't really remember
Star-Lord.
Yeah, she doesn't know Star-Lord.
So they might be picking up with him still trying to woo her. Be like, I love you so much, and you loved me once upon a time.
Guardians is always a fun time.
It's your favorite Marvel, isn't it? How do you feel about it coming to an end?
This iteration, keep that in mind.
Yeah, this iteration, and they've done so many spin-off stuff for Marvel that I'm not disappointed, because they could still do something with it.
Well, much like the Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy always sort of, fluctuated. There were always different characters who were the Guardians, just like the Avengers. So, we might get other characters.
Howard the Duck?
Shut up. I hate you.
Well, I mean, would you not want to see like Howard the Duck going on a mission? Even if it was for an episode.
Not at all.
Okay, maybe
have we talked about my TV show idea for Guardians on the podcast?
No. I don't remember it.
You remember?
Pitch it real quick.
Okay, pitch. Let me pitch. Give me 30 seconds on the clock to pitch Marvel. Okay, ready? Guardians of the Galaxy. We want it to be like going on missions, but every single episode is different, so it's going to be a show, a Disney Plus show. We could do, every episode is different. They go on a mission. They go to get Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck could be in one episode. It's a show. That'd be fine because it's one episode, and then next episode he's not in it. I feel like that way we could still have the Guardians that we love, but they could be short 20-minute, 30-minute episodes and be kind of an adventure every week type thing.
So here's my prediction. I think they're going to kill off or send off a lot of these characters that we know and love, namely like Rocket, maybe Groot, Gamora, and then we're going to have a new Guardians of the Galaxy, and they are going to do it in a TV show style.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these actors have done enough. And they are done with the franchise.
Right.
It would be a super hard sell to be like, actors from Guardians come play in our series for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
They could get the guy who played Loki.
I'm okay with that actually, as long as the characters are good characters. Yeah.
But the thing is, we don't know any of them yet. Probably.
Maybe.
Well, Gamora's sister might be one of them.
So we might have like Nebula. We might have Nova. We might have
Howard the Duck,
Adam Warlock, which may be Sputnik the space dog, who we've seen in the Marvel universe before. So,
what about man?
I just wanted to bring up the cast list.
Yeah, so
Will Poulter,
Stallone's character was a Guardian, I think, and I don't see anybody else new.
This is Will.
Oh yeah. Well, Adam Warlock. Yeah. Adam Warlock is
that's
sort
the whole
of
thing.
He's an enemy of the Guardians.
Yeah.
And then I think he becomes one of the Guardians.
Let me go to this slide real quick since we're talking about him. We haven't seen this character.
We haven't seen eyebrows in a while.
Eyebrows.
Technically, you've seen him in the end of Guardians 2. Oh. He's in when the Golden Lady's looking at that pod.
Yes.
And she says, I think I'll call him Adam. That's him. He's in that.
Do we see him as a character?
They didn't show his
But he's
face.
in that pod, so we know he's brewing.
He's brewing. He's brewing, and he's coming out. What do you think?
Wait,
his name is Will.
Does
Will
he have?
Poulter.
Do you have the stones? Go back.
Yeah, he do have the stones.
The
That's a
Infinity
comic.
Stones.
Yeah,
That looks
Adam
like it.
Warlock is like a really powerful character in the comics. But of course, every character is a really powerful character in the comics.
We always make fun of his eyebrows. He's a great actor, though.
What's wrong with Will?
He's a
Will
no,
has a
he's
got,
fantastic
like a unique face.
He's fantastic.
I was
eyebrows.
introduced to Will back in the Narnia film.
Shredder, yeah.
He was playing Eustace.
Yeah.
Eustace.
Being
He's
obnoxious.
in.
He was really good at it.
Maze
Runner.
Runner. I was gonna say Blade Runner.
He
but
was
Maze
great
Runner.
in Maze Runner.
He was in
That was him coming into his
Um,
older age.
What's the one?
The Millers.
Is that We Are the Millers?
Yeah.
with the
These are
Jason
just movies
Sudeikis.
we've seen. I think he's a great actor.
He is.
I think he's phenomenal. People give him a hard time because of his face structure, but he's handsome.
Yeah, and he's beefed up for this
he's
role
thick,
too.
man.
I think he's gonna look really cool.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna be weird because it's like he's not, a normal person.
Mm-mm.
I think he's gonna look really cool.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how he's gonna play this character. I don't know Adam or Warlock as a
Adam
character.
Warlock.
I don't know that character. But if I think of this guy as anybody in real life, for some reason, I'm not saying his eyebrows are like this, but I think of him as like Ethan.
yeah.
Yeah, he do
I've
kind of
got
look
it.
like
Yeah.
Ethan.
They have
Your brother.
similar like
It's like
chin, jawline, nose.
and or like the lovable guy who's just like genuinely interested in
Just genuinely interested in things.
you and what you're doing.
Yeah. So it looks like for the most part, we have the same cast coming back, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't recognize Chuck Woody here. Have we seen him before?
He wasn't attached to.
He might have been part of the
He wasn't-
Ravagers.
He
could
could
have
have
been
been
a
part of the Ravagers.
Is that Yondu?
Yondu was a Ravager.
Yondu.
Yeah,
Yondu and
That's what I was going to
Sloane.
say.
Car. Yeah,
they're all Ravagers.
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus is one of the Ravagers.
She is?
Yes,
Nuh-uh.
I'm serious.
I don't
Where? At
remember
what
that.
point?
It's just her voice.
Oh, that's why I don't.
Yeah,
She has a good voice for a Ravager.
Miley
does,
Cyrus
yeah,
is
yeah.
one of the Ravagers.
She's got very.
Can I just go on a quick tangent?
Mhm.
I'm really enjoying Miley's new music.
Oh yeah.
Her new
Yeah.
work, I'm really enjoying it. This heavy influence of modern music mixed with her
country.
well, kind of like the Dolly Parton country thing, because Dolly Parton and her are such good friends. She's like her mentor.
Well, and
She's
'cause her
changing
dad-
up. Yes, because of her dad. But Miley can have a relationship with Dolly Parton without her dad being in the
Oh
picture.
no, I'm saying she's going towards that because that's her family kind of legacy.
Yeah, she
and
seems
also she
like-
grew up with that. That's her thing.
yeah, it's her family
It seems
legacy.
like she's putting more passion into her music.
And I'm just saying, Miley, keep doing what you're doing. I really like you in this moment.
In
You're
this
doing
moment.
great. In this now your older stuff, when you're swinging naked on a ball, and talking about wrecking ball. I wasn't into that.
Hey, that song claps.
It claps hard.
All right.
It really destroyed us with the visuals from the music video.
Yeah, it did. Not
Literally
as-
destroyed, and I think that was the point. Wrecking ball.
Wrecking ball.
But the music you're putting out right now, I love it. Keep doing it. Let's get back to Guardians.
Before we move on, underrated character, I think, in the Guardians universe is Cracklin.
yeah.
He's like, what we doing, Captain? What we doing, Captain? And I think
He's
he
a
has
funny
the whistle arrow
character.
now.
Yeah, he do actually.
He
Captain.
does.
Captain's got to teach stuff.
He's gonna play a big role if he's got the whistle
Yeah.
arrow now.
Funny story. They actually talked about it on their podcast. Rhett McLaughlin.
McLaughlin.
Rhett McLaughlin.
McLaughlin. That's I knew it wasn't right.
Rhett and Link.
Rhett and Link. Yeah,
Rhett from Rhett
Good
and Link.
Mythical Morning.
Yeah.
He actually.
He applied to play.
What does
Yondu.
actors do when they go for a role? They
They read.
read.
Yeah.
They apply,
Audition.
That's the word I'm looking for. I don't know why I lost that.
I don't know that did he audition for Yondu?
That's what he said.
No, Taserface.
Oh,
Taserface. It was Taserface.
Now I could see Rhett as a Kraglin.
Yeah. He
I don't know, Rhett's
for
really
Taserface.
tall.
And
Kraglin.
Okay.
I don't know if I can't remember. It's been a while since I listened to this episode, but he either got the part or he was one of the very few finalists for that part.
I'm pretty sure he was a few finalists. Look at this. I am getting so many calls and voicemails.
Who'd you give your
from spam? Nobody.
Oh,
it's one day.
But I mean, no, he was one of the few finalists, or he either got the part. But they said he had to take like a significant break from Good Mythical Morning to go and film wherever they're filming, probably like Atlanta or something.
So he pulled his name out.
So yeah, he stopped because he's like, I have to do Good Mythical Morning. It would be a disservice for my company. It was during the time when they bought
for
Smosh.
his business partner.
Yeah, it was right when they bought Smosh too. So
just up and leave, for Marvel. No,
you don't do that.
Just
Rhett and Link have their own.
You're
good
very
thing
successful.
Going on.
Yeah,
you don't need Marvel.
No,
but it would
be fun.
Yeah, it'd
but
be
it's
fun
not something
to
to
see
sacrifice your business
as
for.
Character like that. But Taserface, I think
that's something that Rhett and Link have like dabbed their toes in, but never fully committed to try to get into the movie industry. They've always wanted to make a feature film.
Well, but they've never made a blood oath, been like, we're going to be in a film. They made a blood oath
and said, we're going to do something.
We're going to do something.
They haven't made a blood oath and sacrificed, a child to the executive producer.
That's right.
So,
they need to go into a cow field and do that before
a ritual.
Yeah.
Good grief. They did make a blood oath and then jumped over dead cows.
Well, that's
for
fun. Yeah, but that's for fun.
Because you find a dead cow and you're like, think I could jump it?
Yeah, and then you do a seance and
cut your hands.
But that just happens.
I mean, we never.
I mean, you just most people that get it themselves into curses and seances, it just happened and they weren't planning it.
They weren't planning it. I mean, Joe and I are blood brothers. Yeah. We didn't plan it. We just looked down and suddenly there were knives in our hands,
and we had just shook hands,
bleeding, and
and there was also a dead baby goat in between us. And throat was cut.
Yeah.
And we were like, we looked at each other. Remember, we looked at each other. We were like, how did this happen?
Imagine like, that white, that bright white fade into reality and the ringing in your ear stops and you just look down and you're like, all right, well, that happened.
I wouldn't be able to sleep for days. I'd be like, what have we done? You know who doesn't get enough? You know who doesn't get enough recognition? Family. We're family.
This man gets too much recognition.
Yeah, he's got a lot of money.
Guardians. We know, everybody knows he plays Groot, but nobody thinks when they hear Groot, nobody thinks, yeah, that's Vin Diesel. Like he's just in the background. We give Bradley Cooper all of the attention.
That's because Bradley Cooper's doing all the voiceover heavy lifting.
What's your one film that when they say Vin Diesel, what are you thinking of?
Fast and Furious.
The first one?
Any of them.
All of them? Okay.
Annoying
it's not
whole
Fast
thing.
and Furious for me. I know he's in that. That's like the secondary thing I think of.
What do you think of first?
Pacifier.
The Pacifier. The Pacifier.
That was the first Vin Diesel movie we watched. Yeah. Because we were little kids. It's like, oh, Vin Diesel's in a family-friendly film?
Yeah, the Pacifier.
Where he's not just a straight douchebag.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of starts with one.
It's just family-friendly douche.
But he learns about
family. Yeah.
He learns all about family.
He gets a family.
It's all about family.
And Dave, who plays Drax, he is blowing up.
He is killing it.
Yeah,
he is on fire, man.
He's in Dune.
As he's one of those guys who was, WWE.
Yeah.
And unlike The Rock, he said I'm
gonna make good movies.
Yeah, he said I like Guardians of the Galaxy, but I don't want to be Drax forever.
Yep.
And so we're seeing him. He's in Blade Runner 2049, just the beginning, but I really liked his character.
Okay.
He's in Dune.
He plays a big role in Dune.
He plays Raban.
He's in a lot of good movies.
Raban just continues to become more and more important as the franchise goes on. He's not just seen as the cousin to the Baron
Yeah.
is actually super important.
And if they don't bring in Fade, then Raban's going to be...
Take the place of
Yeah, he's kind of going to be the big bad to fight.
Mm-hmm. I think they'll bring in Fade.
You think?
I think so.
Harry Styles will play him.
That's right. That's right. They'll make him get jacked.
Or
Actually, no,
what's the character that he played?
Skarsgård.
No, he's already. What's the character that Harry Styles got introduced as the end credits?
Eternals.
But that's still Marvel.
That is Marvel.
But Dune is not Marvel.
Oh, we're talking. I thought we were talking about Marvel.
We were just running over Dune.
Yeah, because
what is his name?
Batista.
Is it Bill?
Bill? No, I think Bill.
The science guy.
Let me look. Let's ask. Everybody prepare yourself. This is always really annoying when you're listening to a podcast. Hey Siri, show me a picture of Bill Skarsgård. It's him.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right. It is Bill.
Let me see.
It's just the guy who plays the It clown.
Oh.
Yeah. But the guy who plays the Baron is his dad, right?
Yeah. He's the father of the Skarsgård boys. There's 3 or 4 of them, and Bill's the youngest.
It would be really cool to see.
In my opinion, I think Bill and the dad are the best actors of the family, even though I think all of them are actors.
It'd be cool to see him as Fade. Even though it'd be kind of weird.
No.
In Dune?
Bill. I love Bill. Remember we saw that one show with him in it?
Yeah, but I mean the Baron's affections for Fade is a little weird.
Oh, I don't know about that.
It's a little creepy.
I mean, the Baron's affections of Fade.
Yeah. No, don't stop doing that, Skarsgård. Mr. Skarsgård, stop.
Don't be looking at him like that.
He's your son.
I guess it's not super weird if he's his nephew. It's like, well, keep it in the family. Let
me just interrupt for one moment. If you are into production of any kind, if you create content for YouTube, you make short films, you do freelance work like weddings, well, I have news for you. It's a pain in the butt to get music that's copyright free, that's gonna work for you, and is high quality, that doesn't sound like trash or something from the early 2000s. Let me tell you the solution. It's Soundstripe. Go to soundstripe.com. You can actually sample out all their music, see what kind of stuff they have. But I wanna tell you something. If you want to get a subscription for Soundstripe, you can get a 10% off deal on your first purchase. And that is by using the promo code wiseworks10. But I want to warn you, if you don't use the link in the description on this video or in this podcast, well, then you won't get it. So if you need royalty-free music for any kind of content creation in this wonderful year of 2022, well, check out Soundstripe. In my opinion, it's the best. Use the link in the description and let them know that we sent you by using promo code wiseworks10. That's wiseworks10. So that's our thoughts about the new information regarding Guardians Volume 3. We got some more information. So we're going to go ahead and get into yet another piece of news regarding something interesting. And we thought we'd talk about it because why not? They have announced... Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the new Peter Jackson in the Olympians.
Yeah, I thought it was they're bringing Double Downs back to KFC.
I'm the lightning thief.
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson.
I got a paint right here.
No, what you were thinking is yes, the McRib is back.
No, I said the Double Down from KFC is better than
Double Down is absolutely.
How many Double Downs did you eat?
Did you think I said McRib?
No, but I was making a different reference.
Oh.
Okay, how many Double Downs did you eat? I had like 5.
I genuinely have had like one, maybe 2 in my life.
4.
So I've had more than you.
Yeah, this guy loved the Double Down.
I was obsessed with the Double Down.
That's why this guy...
Now
that was during my skinny days.
Let's be clear.
That Double Down didn't do this to me.
Let's be clear. The Double Down...
You went Double Down way too many times.
Is the 2 pieces of chicken, right?
Yeah, with like cheese and ham in the middle.
No, bacon.
Bacon.
Yeah.
Bacon.
It was... I like the Double Down.
See, I had it once.
But when it went away, I found like they have the same sandwich. It was called something else, but it had bread instead of the 2 pieces. So it had your chicken, your...
Nobody wants bread.
And I was like...
Well, the Double Down reduced?
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is so much easier to eat because I'm not getting all greasy.
So
back to Percy
yeah, let's get back to Percy Jackson. So we remember the films that they put out a number of years ago, sort of teen films, slightly enjoyable from the books about Greek mythology with modern teenagers.
Fun.
It's like training. It's like Harry Potter.
It's Harry Potter, but with
Greek mythology. Yeah.
It's a fun.
It's a fun watch.
thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the first one, not bad. I enjoyed the first one.
Yeah,
it's a kid movie, but I enjoyed it.
Was that Liam Neeson that was in it, or am I thinking of Clash of the Titans?
You're thinking of Clash.
Okay.
It had Pierce Brosnan.
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah. and Sean Bean as well.
Yeah, Sean Bean.
Zeus.
Yeah, I think he played a good Zeus. Second one, it had its downfalls. It had a lot of downfalls, I'll say, but I enjoyed that one too, kind of. It had its downfalls. I see why, but it's a fun story.
Yeah,
I like the story. I like it. I don't think they did it as good. I think Harry Potter did it way better. I like the story here better than Harry Potter's story, though.
Yeah, I'm sure the books are wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm sure the books are really good. I think my buddy Sam said the books. He's read the books and they're
fun.
good. Yeah, they're fun.
Let's see what this guy has to say, and he's gonna kind of explain it for us, and then we'll talk about it. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, "It's satisfying."
I am thrilled to be the first to tell you that Percy Jackson and the Olympians is really, truly, and for sure coming to your screens.
Yeah.
The smart folks at Disney Plus have given us the green light. And the best part is James Bobin is on board as our pilot director.
Yo,
Not Bobin.
James
He's
is
so
a terrific
hip with his
person
AirPods.
And also an
Yeah.
incredibly talented director who recently directed the pilot for Disney Plus's The Mysterious Benedict Society, which I loved.
Never
James
seen it.
knows the Percy Jackson books well.
Hmm.
His kids are fans. So we're
Is he
in
reading
great
off a
hands.
script on the side?
Thanks
He's
to
gotta
all of you
be.
for your excitement about this series.
It's all right.
It's going to be great.
Did you see that smile at the end?
So is he the author?
No. I don't even, if I'm being honest, I don't know who that man was.
I mean, because he's got all the books behind him. I don't know.
I'll do this. All right, look.
Maybe we
look.
should do a little bit of research.
Look. I'm gonna do this. You guys talk.
that
I'm
man.
gonna do it real quick.
Thank you.
I didn't like the way I don't know
He was
why.
very expressive. He's like, "This is gonna be great."
Well, if he's the author, I can understand him being excited, especially about like a Disney Plus TV show. People are hype on Disney Plus right now. Yeah, that's him.
Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be him.
That's him.
No, definitely go with this photo.
This one.
This one. This one.
We got.
I want this one.
Yeah, that's got it. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, so he's the author. He's excited about the series getting put on Disney Plus, and that's fun.
No, yeah.
I really hope that this is going to be a fun series.
So it's a series. It's not a movie. Obviously.
Yeah, and
So.
pretty obviously it's going to be for teenagers. It's going to kind of have a youthful vibe to it.
That's Percy Jackson.
That's Percy Jackson, and I'm okay with that. And as long as there is good fleshing out of the story and the world and the characters.
I mean, you guys put up with kids shows all the time. I mean, look at Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I think you need to leave the podcast. I think you should. Grandpa Joe needs to.
What? You haven't watched the whole show, so keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
I am allowed to. I'm allowed to talk about things.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
No.
Unless you have a good knowledge of the source material that you are.
No.
That.
Oh, I'm not trying to
That-
reference anything. I'm just saying,
you're blaspheming.
Tell me it's not a childish show.
It
Name
has.
me one cuss.
One cuss.
Name me one.
The phrase.
Lovemaking scene.
Actually,
There's a kiss. Actually,
the tense scene with
There's a kiss.
there is a scene where a dude's laying in a tent and totally expecting a girl to be coming in, so he's all like, readied up for romance.
Okay.
Yeah. What's a Sokka?
Sokka.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
There's a kiss.
And the show is, you know, got complexities and good care. Like,
yes.
Okay, so listen. It is a show written for a younger audience to understand.
Yep. As is Percy Jackson.
As long as the themes and the character development is there, everyone will enjoy it like we did Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I can appreciate it.
Yeah,
Back
to the show. I think they said it's supposed to be at least the first season, I'm pretty sure, is supposed to be just the Lightning Thief. It's not like the multiple books for the first season. I like that idea because there's a lot. We were watching it the other day, and we said, at least I said, the downfall that I see from the first movie, The Lightning Thief, is there's not as much story, character development. It's kind of this up till he gets to the camp. From school to finding out who he is to the camp. Very quick paced. It's thing.
Well, like, you know, Zeus and Poseidon meet, and Zeus is like, I know your kid took my lightning bolt, and if he doesn't get it to me by this time, I'm going to start a war. And Poseidon's like, I haven't seen my son. I don't know who my son is.
I abandoned my son years ago.
Why are you blaming this? And we assume that
out of all of these
Zeus
Greek
has
gods,
no idea who Percy is. And so he's just... There was no explanation as to why Zeus would think it would be Percy.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of that in the story.
Also seeing how Percy didn't even know who he was.
So...
He just thought he was really good at holding his breath.
Percy Jackson movies that was really interesting, that we were like, this is really great stuff. I want to know more about these centaurs. Well, I want to know more about this camp.
Or like Luke as a character.
I want to know way more about Luke.
Luke was the bad guy of the story, and we got like how many scenes of him in it? Very few.
Yeah.
Very few. Him playing video games. Him.
Well, since they're making this, don't spoil it anymore. We can't spoil the story anymore.
No, we can spoil the movie.
But yeah, aren't the books gonna have the same conclusion?
Everybody's seen it.
Yeah,
but the kids might have not seen it.
I'm sorry.
Don't spoil anything because they're coming out with the show.
For the kids. We'll keep the spoilers.
Yeah. Do you remember the first?
You
the
already
first time we ever watched
Luke was a bad guy.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time we watched this movie? Who introduced it to us?
Who introduced it to us? We didn't Redbox it?
Nope. I remember the exact moment.
Tell me, I don't remember.
I watched Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief for the first time.
Tell me.
Tyler Murphy.
Tyler?
We
watched Percy with Tyler?
Percy. We were driving, somewhere in the car. We were driving in the car to a trip somewhere, and we watched it in the car.
Okay.
Do you remember this?
I think I remember it slightly. I remember watching it when I was younger, a young teen, if even a teen yet. I might have been like 12, 11 when it came out, or when I watched it. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. And I think this is promising. The author seems ecstatic.
He seems excited I would be.
He's like, Disney Plus. He said the smart people at Disney Plus. Yeah. He's like, let me emphasize smart.
Yeah. It was like Mickey Mouse over here with a sign and a gun. He's like, the smart people at Disney Plus. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You better call us smart.
Yeah. Say some other stuff.
Keep talking. Don't look over here. No, smile. Smile real wide. Mention the guy who made the pilot for that other show.
No, I like the story of Percy Jackson. I think they did it a little bit in injustice for the movies, but this will be fun.
You think Disney Plus is going to be a great place for this show?
We've seen some good things and some bad things for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And it's not old. Disney Plus is still very new compared to, other streaming services like Hulu, Netflix. But yet they've risen to number 2 on the size of people that follow it. Netflix is still number 1. Disney Plus has broke past every barrier.
It's not that hard to do when you've got
Disney.
Star Wars.
When you have Star Wars,
just the name Disney.
Or Marvel.
Yeah.
Just the name Disney, though.
Those two things.
I think those two things in particular are what's keeping people on that streaming service. Star Wars and Marvel.
I mean, it's...
Also, they pulled out the big guns. Dave Filoni with The Mandalorian.
John Favreau.
John Favreau, yeah. Pulled out the big guns.
Disney Plus is a 50-50, in my opinion. It could be good, it could be bad.
Yeah.
Most of their stuff is good, but yeah, most of their stuff is bad. No, I'd say most of it's good.
I mean, Disney. Their catalog is everything Disney or Disney Pixar.
Yeah, like
stuff.
David Crockett's an amazing movie.
Oh yeah.
And Josh
was
was
the River Pirates.
The
River Pirates.
River Pirates. No, it does actually, especially
when he eats his hat.
Yeah, that was funny. But you're just annoyed because they don't have Follow Me Boys yet.
No, I think I was. We'll talk about it later, but no, I don't want to talk about that right now. We're going to do a separate video on that.
Okay.
The only people who I think can do it as good, I think, would be Netflix. I don't want Prime to touch this. I don't want Paramount to touch this.
HBO can't touch it because it's for kids.
For kids.
I don't know. They've got some kids.
Little kids.
What has HBO ever made that was for kids? That HBO, not HBO Max that they have on their streaming service. I mean, what has HBO made that was for kids?
Me and Wyatt, we're always like, it's a night we watched. What did we watch the other day? The Train. Thomas the Train.
Thomas the Train was not made by HBO.
We were watching Thomas, and then we watched the Unicorn one. The Adventure of the Unicorn.
Boondocks.
Charlie.
Yeah, just all sorts of stuff.
Boondocks. No.
Look, HBO Max has stuff. I'm just saying, if HBO is going to make something that they're putting their money to create, it's never been kid-friendly.
Disney or Netflix to do it.
Which Disney's doing it. So the smart people at Disney Plus, you've made one author as happy as
just ecstatic,
as happy as he could be, and we're happy for him. I'm looking forward to see the enjoyment, the cultivation of this new world of Percy Jackson.
And when it comes out, maybe we'll get an expert like Sam or something to get on the podcast, be like, "Oh man, here's all the things that you missed in Percy Jackson."
Yeah.
We're not making fun of you, Sam. We do that voice all the time.
So that's Percy Jackson, ladies and gentlemen.
Whoa, hold up there. If you guys are watching the podcast, then you may be interested in some of our other content on the Wiseworks Studio channel. That's where we do reviews and reactions and talk about story concepts and filmmaking in a more short form fashion. So if that's something you guys are interested in, make sure to head over to the Wiseworks Studio channel. Let's get back to the podcast.
We have another segment yet, and this is to follow up you from last week. This is a terrible tier list.
That's the end, though.
The 2021 terrible tier list.
Yeah.
Do we got anything to say before we do our last segment? We don't really need to plug much because we've already got the plugs in. So,
the Midnight Special.
Why? No, we don't. I mean, why?
The Midnight Special comes out Friday at 10 p.m. It comes out on Spotify and other audio platforms. But if you want to listen to this podcast and the Midnight Special and the Wacky Wonderful Show a week ahead of time, it's on Patreon.
Sheesh.
You guys are going to be okay.
No,
we won't. Okay.
We're never coming back from that. We're never coming back.
So we already got the plugs in.
I'm not coming back from that.
We already get the plugs in.
I'm not coming back from that.
You want to live that one down.
Joshua looks around the room. We got any other things to plug?
He said, we already got the plugs in.
I'm not coming back from that.
Better be glad we are at the end of the podcast.
I can't breathe.
That was beautiful.
It was good. Let's get to the terrible tier list. I'm pulling. I'm
lightheaded.
Pulling the plug out.
I'm lightheaded.
Look, I'm pulling the 2021 film the Tomorrow War to be added to our terrible tier list. So basically, what we're doing right now, a Reminiscence was on there from last week. Now we have the Tomorrow War. And what we're doing is we're taking previous year's films and we are saying, hey, these are a list of terrible films that Hollywood thought it would be a good idea to make.
What years? Are we sticking with 2021 or?
Yeah. Terrible tier list for the year.
Okay, so the 2021 terrible tier list.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not jumping into like 2020.
Nah. Nothing much came out in 2020 anyway. So the Tomorrow War, we did a whole episode. We don't really need to explain what's wrong with this. There were a few redemptive items, like the way the creatures looked. That was cool. Like the way they sounded, the way they moved. The fact that you got a couple of big name actors in the film, redemptive. Everything else, rotten.
Yeah.
Just smelly. It was so rotten. And it gets comical to watch after about 10 minutes. So this is on the terrible tier list. If you're looking for a laugh and not an action movie to gawk at,
you realize
watch this movie. It's
everything we've talked about Prime, Amazon, has been...
Yeah, why do you think we did not? we literally called, what did we call it? An episode we called Concerns about the Ring of Power. You know, the Rings of Power.
I mean,
a whole episode.
Wheel of Time. We talked about that for a while, and then we just like, nope, we can't talk about it anymore. It's like
it's because the internet was
bail. We hit the bail button on that.
Well, we can talk about it. I'm just saying the internet said as soon as it started coming out, this is trash. And then the other half of the internet was like, stop saying bad things about it. And so everyone shut up for some reason, even though everyone thinks in their mind, Wheel of Time is trash.
Yeah. Yeah, Prime in recent days isn't doing great stuff. I've seen some great stuff on Prime. I've seen several very good original movies and shows, but it seems like they're in a... You guys remember you remember the like really trash phase of Netflix where they were just putting out content that they were able to produce and stuff?
Yeah.
I feel like Prime has kind of hit that phase where they're putting out trash and secretly, like not secretly, but
their budget is there
upon something great. Like they were throwing out a ton of stuff when Stranger Things came out, and then Stranger Things came out. And that did really well. And nobody remembers all the other stuff that they were putting out.
Well, the very first thing they put out was House of Cards.
Yeah.
So
they made some smart decisions buying shows from YouTube originals.
Again, they've started... You know, Prime has started strong with a lot of their like drama shows, really good drama shows. But
the comedy drama that I just watched recently, The Marvelous Mrs. Maeve.
Yeah.
About a comedian woman. It's an older timepiece. It's pretty good. And I mean,
so they've started strong with their content, but I feel like we're in kind of the trashy phase. And I'm hoping the Rings of Power is going to be the Stranger Things that comes out of this.
Yeah.
It's going to withstand the fires of the Crucible, and it's going to come out strong and powerful.
Yeah.
And hot.
Melts.
But not the Tomorrow Wars.
No,
not the Tomorrow Wars.
So the Tomorrow Wars is like the slag that comes off that Crucible.
Yeah. It's the chaff that blows away.
It blows away in the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you're like, ooh, it's steak, and then you take your first bite and it's just fat.
Oh, it's fat.
It's like, this was not meaty at all.
But it's not even the good kind of fat that melts in your mouth. It's the gristle.
The gristle that is just you chew and chew and chew, and it's just piece of rubber fat. It's not good. And that's what this was.
And it's it's kind of like when you're like, you're having dinner with a beautiful dame, and you're on a date, and you're like, I can't spit this out. Because I've already committed. And you're like, I can't spit this out. I can't spit this out. I'm
about to swallow a giant piece of steak fat that I cannot chew.
No, yeah.
And when you're texture sensitive, it's the worst thing ever.
No, yeah, keep talking. I'm going to take a sip of that.
Didn't go down.
And then you're like... Whoo! Oh. Came back up. Still chewing.
Stomach wasn't ready for that. Terrible tier list. Film number 2, The Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt. Chris, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Love you as a brother in Christ. I do.
I love the way you said it, though. Love you as a brother in Christ.
I think you're amazing. We just talked about a movie that's awesome that you're in, Guardians. However, The Tomorrow War seemed like it was something that you did to pass the time.
I mean,
and you probably learned from it. We don't fault you. We fault Amazon Prime.
Listen, mad respect.
Mad.
You got a paycheck.
Oh, you got a big paycheck for a crappy movie.
Stealing Jeff Bezos' money.
You just steal it, bro.
You didn't even have to perform that well. You just had to be you.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at this and you're like, this came out the same year Dune came out.
Yeah.
Dune.
Well, the thing is, nobody really knew when Dune was going to come out. Nobody, and I think the Batman movie is going to be so big and it's going to hit so hard that they were like, we cannot have Dune and Batman coming out on the same year. Who's coming first?
I like to see if I like to see if you can find the movie that came out at the same time that the big movie of the year came out, the one that got overshadowed,
is just as good,
but is actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
I love looking for those.
Yeah, those
it's like, this came out
hidden gems.
the same week, and nobody watched it.
Yeah,
I like looking for those.
Those are fun.
I feel like West Side Story didn't get a fair shake.
Well,
because it came out around the same time Spider-Man came out.
Well,
a little bit, but let's be honest, everybody knew West Side Story was coming out.
Right,
but they chose to buy their ticket for Spider-Man over West Side Story.
Yeah, because
I would agree with you some, but I actually read a thing where Steven Spielberg planned it so it was only going to be in the theaters like a very short time. And then it's supposed to be released on like Disney Plus for after. It's pretty soon, I think.
Okay.
Cool.
I don't know when.
Okay.
What time are we running at, Joshua?
Over an hour, like an hour 30.
All right.
Really?
Yeah.
Woo! Sheesh.
Let's tie this one with a bow. Call it episode 243 and tip our hats to the audience.
Milady.
This episode has just been like random thing after random thing. It's a fun episode though.
I think we're just funny as heck.
Or we just find ourselves funny. Nobody else does.
Don't censor yourself when you're talking about funniness.
I think we are funny as heck.
Hey, don't forget about the midnight special now. Friday nights.
10 a.m.
10 p.m.
If you guys
don't put it
Eastern Standard Time.
If you guys think the main episode is hilarious,
skating up ice, ice skating uphill.
We let loose on the midnight special, or at least we did last week.
We'll let loose again, maybe.
I don't.
You have to tune in to find out.
Week's.
It'll be interesting. I'm trying to. I think that would get you.
Oh man. You never talked about your weekend, the snowstorm of the blizzards and the.
It'll give people incentive to go visit the midnight special.
Yeah,
check out the Patreon.
We talked about it on the Patreon last week, but you didn't talk about it on the Patreon this week.
We'll talk about it. It'll be all right. We'll talk about it. Thank you guys for watching.
I thought we already done. I thought this was kind of.
I don't know.
That's why I was saying.
You guys confused me.
I'm trying. This was the fade out. The fade out of the best.
Talking about.